My name is Maria Sagot and I'm a professor in the biological science department.
I'm Nicole Rose. I'm a zoology major here at SUNY Oswego.
Where in the world do you study bats?
That's a good question. So there's a lot of bats everywhere in the world, and I specifically work with bats here in North America, also in Costa Rica. I have done some work in Madagascar as well, and a little work in Borneo.
Which species do you study?
So in my work in Costa Rica, we study a species that is called the sphinx wing bats. And they're called like that because they have suction cups in both their thumbs and their feet, and they attach to the leaf like using the suction cups. Here in North America, we also work with the big brown, which is one of the biggest bats here in North America. And I have done some work with another species in Madagascar that instead of having suction cups, they have sticky pads. So they are also attached to the leaves using, but in this case, the sticky pads.
What is your basic research question?
Okay, so we have two separate projects. So I'm gonna explain the project that we have in Costa Rica, and then Nicole can explain a little bit the project that we have here in North America. So in Costa Rica, the bats that we study, they communicate with each other with a call that we call it Marco Polo. So basically, when the bats are flying together, they maintain communication with each other, like I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. That's basically Marco Polo. And when one bat finds a roost, it produces another call that helps recruit or basically call the other group members into the group. So one of the things that we study is to see, how that Marco Polo communication allows them to stay together and find roosts or houses more efficiently.
So our project here is looking at how the bats produce a sound that helps them find like their home and their food. And so they're producing their own sounds, but then us as humans also make sounds. And so we're seeing how our sounds interfere with the sounds that the bats are making.
How do you find bats?
That's a good question. So there's a few ways to find them. One is to put nets, and the net is, we call it mist net because it's a very thin net that hard to see for humans and like for bats at night. So when they are flying around, they just basically are caught in the net. Another way to find them is to look for specific homes or roosts. They can be found in trees, in tree holes. They can be found in people's houses and attics. Some people also put bat houses outside, so you can find them in bat houses. They can be found under bridges, so just go and check for bridges. And also you can look at different structures and buildings, human-made buildings, so they can also use as roosts.
How do you study bat sounds, or how do you listen to bats?
So we have a system that it's basically a microphone connected to a recorder, and once we record the sounds that the bats are making, we can put it into like a computer system, and we can see all the different frequencies and like the different lengths of the calls that the bats are producing. Humans can hear some bat sounds, but not the ones that we're looking at, which is why we have those special microphones. But you can hear like distress calls, right?
Mm-hmm. Some social calls sometimes, yeah. So as Nicole was saying, bats, are able to use sound to navigate. It's not that they don't see. A lot of people think that bats are blind, and that's not really true. They have eyes like us. They can really see, but because it's dark at night, it's difficult for them to navigate, especially if they're in the woods. So they have developed this system that is similar to what airplanes use, or like some boats use, and it's a way to produce sounds. And they emit the sounds through their mouth, and the sounds will hit an object and then basically bounce back. And that way they are able to know what's in front of them, and then are able to skip some obstacles that they find and navigate like that at night. Now, because it's a sound that is produced in the larynx, which is like a structure that we have in our throat, usually they are above our hearing capacity, so we are not able to hear them. Most of them are, way higher of what we can hear, but they are very loud. So if we were able to hear them, it would be a very noisy world, like around us all the time.
What is a memorable research experience for you?
Well, just the other night, we actually saw a bat swimming, which was pretty fun to watch. They're actually very good swimmers. You wouldn't think so. They actually swim better than Nicole.
A lot better than us.
So it was fun to see a bat swimming, which is completely different out of his, habitat.
A memorable experience that I've done recently was I went to Costa Rica, and Maria's done a lot of different projects in a lot of different places, but this is the first time that I was out of the country doing research, so the whole experience as a whole is really new and exciting.
Can the public get involved in your research?
Yeah, so the project that we're working on now, which is the project where seeing the difference between rural environments, so more natural woodsy places, and urban areas, so areas with a lot of human-made noise. We are looking for, volunteers who have bats in or around their homes who are willing to let us come and record some of their bat sounds. So if that's you, then that's a way that you can get involved.
Anything else that you wanted to share that we didn't get to cover?
Say that if you want to get involved in, even if it's not bats, but any research, you're more than welcome to start your own research project, and take your friends and go outdoors and come up with a question or a hypothesis and just start from there and see where it takes you.
Bye.